All right. Okay, so I'm just going to do a basic warm-up and a basic Pilates class where we're going to mobilize the spine, we're going to mobilize the shoulders and the hips, and just get us moving good and feeling good. So in any case, here we go. I'm just going to get started here with the warm-up. So with the warm-up, I'm just going to go over the basic principles that we use to create the format, or I guess the basis of our format, which is stop Pilates. So I'm going to start here sitting on top of my sit bones. I'm just going to place my hands on my shins. I'm going to take a nice big inhale. When I breathe in, I'm going to feel my rib cage expand out to the side and to the back. And I'm going to make sure that I don't tense up my shoulders when I do that, because I want the breath to go into the lower lobes of the lungs. So I'm inhaling in through my nose. And when I exhale, I'm going to exhale through my mouth, and I'm going to flex my spine forward. I'm not collapsing onto my legs, but I am feeling a nice stretch through my spine here. I'm relaxing my arms on my legs. I'm going to stay here for 3 breaths. So here I'm going to make sure my shoulders stay relaxed as I inhale. And I'm feeling my rib cage expand. And then I'm going to exhale through the mouth. I'm going to feel my rib cage close. 2 more breaths like that. So I'm trying to really create a nice big breath pattern. So opening my rib cage, and then when I'm exhaling, I am engaging my abs. So I'm pulling my abs away from my thighs. And 1 more big inhale. On the next exhale, I'm going to use it to stack my spine from my tailbone all the way up through to the crown of the head here. Just like so. And when I'm sitting up, I'm making sure that I'm stacking my bones here. So I'm referring to my rib cage stacked right above my pelvis, my shoulders right over my rib cage, and my head is right in line with the center of my shoulder joint here. So we're going to do 1 more breath like that. This time we're just going to breathe in 1 time when we're at the bottom, and then we're going to stack back up again, and then we're going to add some rotation to that. So here we go. We inhale, exhale. Just think of nodding the chin slightly as we flex the spine forward. I'm going to hold here, inhale big into my back. Exhale, I lengthen and stack from the bottom of my spine to the top of the spine. I'm going to rotate towards my left side. My right hand's going to come right in the center between my legs here. Inhaling, exhaling, I'm just flexing my spine. So I'm adding a little bit of rotation so I feel a little bit more of a stretch on my right side of my pelvis. Now hold here, inhale. Exhale, I lengthen and stack back up again, all the way up to that neutral position. And then I'm going to twist all the way over to the other side. So my left hand between my legs. Inhaling, I hold here. Exhale, I'm just flexing my spine forward. I hold, inhale. And exhale, I'm going to lengthen and stack all the way up. Okay, so hopefully that helps you to combine a breath pattern with the movement. We're going to lay down on the mat. I'm going to go over the 4 other principles. The first one, when we're laying on our spine, is our pelvic placement. So here I'm going to be rocking my pelvis back into a posterior pelvic tilt here, and then back into an anterior pelvic tilt. So rocking my pelvis back and then forward. Just going through a nice range of motion here. We call this pelvic rocking. You can place your hands on your lower abdomen here. Just feel how that movement happens. When you're putting yourself into a posterior pelvic tilt here, you should feel a stretch in your lower back. When you go the other way, you should feel a contraction and maybe some lengthening through your abs. So we're going to find some place in between those 2 points. I'm going to raise my hand so you can see here. You can do that as well. Once you're someplace in between, your sacrum should feel heavy. You should have a natural curve in your lumbar spine away from the mat here, and your hip bones and your pubic bone, they should form a horizontal line. So they should be parallel with each other. Okay, that's how you know you're in a neutral position. This position is super important when we're working, especially with the feet down. It gives us a lot of support. It's the most shock absorbing position to be in. So here we're just going to rock back slightly into a slight posterior pelvic tilt and slight lumbar flexion. So I did that by just contracting my obliques. So I'm going to go back to neutral here so you can see a natural curve. I'm just going to shorten my abdominals. So I'm going to bring my hips and my rib cage slightly closer together. I'm creating this movement by using my abs, not by pressing into my feet or by engaging my glutes. This way, we're going to get some extra support from the abdominals for the spine. So we do this position, it's called imprint, when our feet are usually up like this. This is called an open chain, so or a tabletop position, or when we just can't stabilize in neutral. Okay, so a lot of you know that your position to work in for right now is a nice imprinted position to help you regain your natural curves. Some of us work in neutral. Okay, for the most part, we want to try and stay in that nice neutral position. We're going to float the fingertips up towards the ceiling here. We're going to just test out how our abdominals connect to our rib cage. So we're going to inhale, reach the hands overhead here. We want to feel the back of the ribs just slightly resting on the mat. So here we're not popping the rib cage and lifting them off the mat. We're staying very connected with our abdominals. We're going to reach the hands right back towards the ceiling. So we're going to exhale this time, reaching the fingertips up and overhead and staying very stable and allowing the rib cage just to rest gently on the mat. And then we inhale, bring the fingertips back up towards the ceiling. We're going to do that again. So we're going to exhale, reach overhead, and inhale, the arms reach back up again. Here we're going to talk about the scapular movement and stabilization principles. So here we want to make sure that we know where a neutral position is through the scapula. So the scapula is otherwise known as our shoulder blades. So when it's in neutral, it should sit flat on the rib cage on the back, right? We shouldn't have any points like pointing off of the rib cage. It should glide nicely on the rib cage. So we're going to go through a range of motion to help us acknowledge that neutral position. So we're going to inhale, float the fingertips up towards the ceiling and allow the shoulder blades to separate on your back. We call this movement protraction. And then we're going to inhale, just relax back to neutral. And again, same movement. So reaching the fingertips up towards the ceiling, allowing the shoulder blades to come apart on the back. But notice my spine isn't moving here. And I just relax back to neutral. Okay, so every time we're coming back to that neutral position, now we're going to retract the scapula. So you're going to inhale and retract. That just means you're gliding the shoulder blades a little bit closer together on your back. And then we're going to relax back to neutral. And again, like that. So you should feel the muscles between your shoulder blades working to create this movement. This is called retraction. And we come back to neutral. Let's go full range of motion here. So we're going to protract the scapula. Inhale, exhale, come through neutral and all the way into that retracted position. And again, so we're going to reach up, we're going to protract, and then come all the way back to that neutral position here. I'm just going to come back right here to neutral. My arms are going to come right down by the side. We're going to bring awareness to the position of the head and the neck. Really important, as a lot of you know, a lot of us have a lot of neck tension, especially when we're doing things like flexing forward off the mat. Okay, so it's really important when we do that, that we do an exercise that we call a head nod. So looking straight up at the ceiling here, we're going to press down gently with the hands on the mat. Hands can either be flat down or turned palms to face in. We're going to inhale, just nod the chin slightly, right? Now it's going to activate those deep neck flexors. And then we're going to exhale and bring the eye level back towards the ceiling. So here you actually regain the natural curve of your cervical spine. When you do that head nod, you're slightly flattening out your cervical spine. That's almost, you can compare that to our imprint and neutral that we did with the pelvic placement. So when we nod the chin like so, that prepares our head and our cervical spine for that forward flexion. Okay, we call this an ab prep. So we're going to go ahead and do that a few times. So we're going to inhale, nod the chin, stabilize the scapula. We're going to exhale and flex forward. Now, when we flex forward, we're going to make sure we're not tucking the pelvis under into that imprint. Okay, we're staying neutral. We're holding inhale, exhale, and we're going to come all the way down. So we're going to inhale, just nod the chin. Exhale, we flex forward. Inhale, we hold here. And exhale, we come all the way back down. Okay? One more time. So inhale, we nod the chin. Exhale, we flex forward. Notice that pelvis is staying very neutral. We're not tucking under here. We hold inhale. And exhale, we come all the way back down. Okay, and there's our ab prep. So if you're experiencing that tension with that ab prep, the hands can be behind the head. Here, when your hands are behind the head, you want to make sure you're not just collapsing your elbows down to the mat. We want to have a little bit of activation through the pecs. So just slightly angling the elbows up so you can see them in your peripheral vision. We're going to inhale and nod the chin here, so it's ever so slight. So you're almost looking towards the knees. And then exhale, supporting your head in your hands. You're going to flex the upper spine forward, keeping the pelvis in neutral. We hold inhale here, and exhale and lengthen down again. So although we have more support for the head, we're going to go one more time. We flex up. It's actually more challenging because now we're holding our arms up, right? So we have more work for the abdominals. We hold inhale here, and exhale, we lengthen all the way down to neutral. Okay? So those are our 5 basic principles, and hopefully, so we have breathing, pelvic placement, ribcage placement, scapular movement and stabilization, and head and cervical placement. So these are the things we want to be thinking about as we're moving through the repertoire. Okay, I'm going to do one more exercise that emphasizes all of those principles. We're going to do that in the prone position, so that's laying down on the mat face down. Legs can be together or a hip distance apart is good too. Hands are going to be at the side here, elbows are down, and you're just hovering above the mat with your nose. So here the pelvis is in a neutral position, so you see we have the natural curves of the spine. My rib cage is down and it's in line with my pelvis. My scapula is stable here in a neutral position. So I'm thinking of pressing down gently with my arms. I'm going to feel my muscles surrounding my shoulder blades engage. And here I'm going to think of lengthening the crown of my head away from the tailbone to keep my cervical spine in neutral. So we're going to hold here, inhale. I'm going to exhale. I'm going to begin to lift up my chest. I'm going to make sure no wrinkles in the back of my neck here. I'm reaching my legs to engage my glutes. My toes are reaching away from my tailbone here. I hold inhale, and exhale, I come back down to the starting position. So here I'm only mobilizing my upper spine. So my lowest rib stays connected to the mat. I'm going to hold inhale, exhale. I'm going to come up into a slight extended position. So my lowest rib is down. I'm extended through my thoracic spine and reaching through the crown of the head. My elbows are staying connected to the mat as well as my fingertips. Here I hold. I'm going to inhale and exhale. I come back to that starting position. Inhaling, exhale, I come up. So here I'm extending my upper spine. So we're doing counter movement. We're so used to working and being in flexion all the time, but this is a really good way to help mobilize the upper spine. We're going to hold inhale here and exhale, come all the way down. And there's our breaststroke prep. Okay, so just giving us a little prep for our back extension work here. I'm going to take this back for a shell stretch. Just rounding the spine. And we're going to get started here. So we're going to start with hundreds. Hundreds is a signature exercise. You'll find that in probably all of the Pilates methods. And we do it as well in our method. So you're starting in this is called a supine position. This one we're laying on our back. Legs can be all the way together here. We're going to inhale, prepare, exhale. We're just going to imprint the spine and lift the legs to tabletop. Okay, so the starting position should always be a tension-free starting position. That doesn't mean that you don't feel like you're working. It just means that you don't have strain. Okay, so upper body is nice and relaxed here. So here, if you can't hold your legs at tabletop, you're going to put your feet down, okay? That is going to just give you a little bit more stability through your pelvis, okay? So I'm going to go back to imprint, bring my legs to tabletop. I'm going to inhale to prepare. Exhale, I'm going to nod my chin, and I'm coming up to the ab prep position that we just did. So the ab prep position, 2/3 of my scapula is lifted up off of the mat. My arms are reaching down by the side. Here, if I have neck tension, I'm going to bring my head all the way down. Notice your abs are still working. The further you send your legs away from your body, the more your abs have to work. Okay, so we're going to kind of depend on you to use the modifications that are most appropriate for you. Okay, so we're going to start here. I'm going to extend my legs onto a long diagonal. I'm going to pulse my arms for 5 counts. 4, 5, and then exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to breathe in for 5. Breathe out for 5. So you can do a staccato breath where it's kind of like you're sniffing in for 5. And exhale. You can also do a smooth breath pattern where you're just breathing in smoothly for 5 counts and breathing out. If it's too challenging with the legs extended, we can bend the knees and bring it in. So now the lever is shorter and it's a little bit easier to stabilize the pelvis on the spine. So choose the most challenging for you as long as you can keep your form and go with that. We're going to do 5 more sets here. Inhaling 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhaling 2, 3, 4, 5. And in and out. We have 3 more sets. So what you can do to increase the intensity is lower the legs as far as you can go without losing your imprint with your spine. And in 2, 3, 4, 5. And out 2, 4, 5. Breathe in 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale 2. Hold here. Bend the knees in. Feet come down if they're not down already. Upper body comes down. There's your 100. We're going to reach the arms overhead, nodding the chin and rolling up. We're going to do a half roll back. So half roll back, we're sitting up on top of the sit bones. The legs are extended. Don't feel like your knees need to be up super high. What needs to happen is you have to be in a neutral position with your pelvis. So here you want to have all the natural curves of your spine present. We're going to be flexing the spine forward here. Legs can be all the way together or hip distance apart is fine. But notice I'm in a nice rounded position here with my spine. I'm not sitting up and tall in my neutral. I'm flexing over the top of my legs. So I'm going to inhale, prepare. Exhale, I'm going to think of imprinting my spine and rolling halfway back here. Looking straight ahead, my shoulders are nice and relaxed. I'm going to inhale, continue to flex my spine, come up and over the top of my legs. I'm going to exhale and roll back. So I'm increasing my spinal flexion to come up and over. If I do that, I'll make sure that I'm using my abdominals and not my hip flexors only. Okay, so you know you're using your hip flexors if when you come up, you're lengthening your spine like this. Okay, that's going to have your lower back contract and your hip flexors contract. Okay, so we're going to do 4 more. Got to keep those glutes engaged here. Come up and over. Exhale, roll back. Inhale, come up and over. And we roll back. We have 2 more. Inhale, come up and over. Last one here. Inhale, come up and over. Exhale, we're going to roll all the way down. We're going to do full roll up for 3. So arms are going to reach overhead. So this is the full roll up here. Inhale, we reach the arms. Exhale, we nod the chin. My ankles are dorsiflexed here as I flex the spine and reach over the top of my legs. I'm going to roll back. So I'm initiating with my glutes and my abs to roll my pelvis under. So the idea is to have my vertebrae make contact with the mat one at a time. So not everyone's going to be able to flex all the way forward. If you can't, you're just going to go as far as you can. You're going to hold, inhale, and exhale, come all the way down. If you bend your knees, that can help you to roll through your lower back. If you're having a hard time with that, we can have just a slight bend in the knee. That's kind of going to be like the old classic sit-up, right? Except for you're keeping your spine rounded the whole time, all right? Roll all the way down. So we have a couple of options here. You can even bend your knees and just come halfway up and then roll down. We're going to do 1 more like that. Inhale, reach the arms. Exhale, nod the chin and roll up. Keeping the spine nice and round. And then we roll all the way down. Next exercise is 1 leg circle. So 1 leg circle, the intention, I'll just show you right here, is to do a circle, right, with the leg without allowing the pelvis and spine to move here, okay? So we want to stay in a neutral position with the spine. So the first challenge is going to be starting the correct starting position, okay? So first off, if you extend your adjuster leg up towards the ceiling and you can't get it vertical, so if it's down here, you've lost the essence of the exercise, okay? You're going to be really overworking your hip flexors here. So what you want to do is bend that knee get your femur, so that's your thigh bone, so that it's vertical, okay? So there's one position here. So either your leg is straight or it's extended. Your leg that's down on the mat here. So if you can't keep your pelvis in neutral, so if your lower back is pressed down here and you're just struggling to keep the pubic bone and the hip bones in the same line, you can bend your bottom knee, okay? And that's gonna help you to get a more stable position for the pelvis, okay? So your legs are either both extended, one knee bent, both knee bent. Here we go. Hands are right down by the side. We're gonna inhale, cross the midline, and exhale and take it around. Trying to keep the upper body tension free here. There's two. Inhale in through the nose, exhale through the mouth. And two more like that. And last one, hold here. We're gonna go the other direction. So we're gonna open out to the side. We're gonna cross the midline and bring it up, all right? So here, if you find you're moving through your pelvis and spine, you're rotating, you're gonna decrease the size of your circle, all right? So that you maintain the intention of the exercise. You're working your abs, your back muscles too, to try to maintain a nice stable position. All right, we have one more here. Inhale, we reach, exhale, bend the knee, and bring it all the way down. All right, so now we're mobilizing the hips, which is great. We're gonna bend that other knee up to tabletop, test out your starting position. So can you get that leg straight? If your leg is straight, but it's on an angle here, then you're gonna need to bend your knee so that you can get your thigh bone vertical, okay? And then with that bottom leg, if you can't straighten this leg out without having back pain or without staying neutral, we can bend that bottom knee, all right? So I'm gonna extend both legs up, inhale here. Before I start, I'm gonna exhale and engage my abs. I'm gonna cross my midline, and then exhale, I take it around. So inhale to cross the midline, exhale, I take it around. 5 in each direction. Nice and relax through my upper body. Last one here. Hold, inhale. And I'm gonna stay here. Exhale, tighten my abs here, relax my shoulders. Inhale, I open out to the side, and exhale, cross the midline and bring it in. So your circles can be a lot smaller. They don't have to be super big here. It depends on your flexibility and how much you can stabilize your spine. Got 2 more circles here. And last one, inhale, exhale, come around, bend the knee, and we bring it all the way in. Let's dorsiflex the feet here, reach the arms overhead. We're gonna do a full roll up. Arms reach up towards the ceiling, exhale, nod the chin. So if you're here, that's okay. Bend your knees, you're gonna roll yourself up, otherwise coming up for a nice full roll up position. We're gonna extend the arms out here. We're gonna do a spine twist sitting. So what's important for this exercise before we begin is that you're able to sit in neutral. Okay, so neutral position with your pelvis, you have the natural curves in your lumbar. Okay, so that means knowing where your sit bones are and sitting on top of your sit bones. Okay, so with your legs extended, if you can't be right up on top of your sit bones, you're gonna bend your knees and try to find that position. Okay, a lot of times we end up back here behind the sit bones, okay? And this is not a stable position for the pelvis. So we wanna make sure we're right up on top and the rib cage is right over the pelvis here. Okay, so with the legs extended, your pelvis shouldn't move. All right, so you can bend your knees to help get you there. You can also sit on a platform, right? So I don't have one here with me, but something that's, you know, a book or a cushion, something that can lift you up. That can also help you to find a good neutral position here. So we're sitting up, the arms are extended, shoulders, everything's in a nice neutral position, but you feel very stabilized to start. We're gonna do 3 pulses to the right. So it looks like this. 1, 2, 3, inhale back to center. Exhale, we pulse 1, 2, 3, inhale back to center. And again, exhale, inhale to center. And exhale, pulse 1, 2, 3. So we're gonna keep going here. So we're trying to mobilize the thoracic spine. The thoracic spine is your middle spine, right? From your rib cage all the way up to your neck, called your thoracic. It tends to be, as we get older, the least mobile, but it really should be more mobile than our lumbar spine, okay? A lot of times what happens with that is we lose mobility there, and then we gain mobility in the lumbar, which causes us to have pain and grinding through the lower back, okay? So really important here that you're stabilizing your pelvis, pulse 1, 2, 3, and we feel that mobilization happening through the thoracic spine. We're going to do one more set here, and pulse 1, 2, and 3. Inhale, center, exhale, arms come down. So one of the best ways to regain the natural curves of your spine is to do rotation, okay? So yeah, that's why it's really important to include rotation in all of your workouts, if that's good for your spine, okay? So next exercise, we're going to do rolling like a ball. We're going to start with the prep. This is a great exercise for endurance of the abdominals and also to help mobilize the spine. So sitting up on top of the sit bones here, I'm going to go through the preps. There's 2 preps. So let's go hip distance apart. You're going to reach your toes up towards the ceiling here and sit up on top of the sit bones. We're going to inhale to prepare. Exhale. You're going to rock your pelvis back into imprint, and you're going to go back behind the sit bones, even onto your sacrum here. We're going to hold, inhale, exhale, and you're going to lengthen and stack back up to neutral. So similar to the half roll back in movement, a little bit through the pelvis. Hold, inhale, exhale, we roll back. So we're actually flexing the lumbar spine using the glutes here, deepening the flexion, and then we just come back to neutral. All right, that's one of the preps. The next prep is rocking back first behind the sit bones, so you're almost on your sacrum here. And then you're gonna lift your legs up to a tabletop position. Well, not tabletop, you're gonna lift your legs up and you're gonna hover your toes just above the mat like so. Okay, so I'm gonna just lift my arms up here so you can see what's happening with my spine, but I want you to have your hands here on your shins, okay? So we're gonna hold, inhale. Exhale, you're gonna increase your flexion of your spine. Your legs aren't going to move, and then we're just gonna come back up again, okay? So we're just deepening that lumbar flexion here, and then we come back up. That's the next prep. And this preps us for rolling like a ball, because this is how we want to initiate the movement of rolling like a ball. It's through increasing your flexion through your spine. So rolling like a ball, I'm going to move up just a little bit so that I stay on the mat, is the same starting position as the prep we just did. So we're going to roll back, but we want to make sure our cervical spine and our head doesn't go onto the mat. We're staying and keeping that C curve. So we're going to hold here. Exhale all the air out, engage your abs. I'm going to inhale to deepen my flexion, and then exhale, oops, to come right back up again. And so I'm maintaining that C curve and rolling. So if you have a lot of flat areas on your spine, you're going to have a really hard time with a nice fluid roll, right? You're probably going to stop down here a little bit and then maybe have a hard time rolling up, especially through that lumbar area. So really important that you use your abs and think imprinting to roll back, and then just floating right back up on top of those sit bones. So you also want to keep your scap stable here. When you do that, that helps you to keep your spine in the right position. So think of squeezing the knees together and pressing the palms of your hands against your shins. That will help you to stabilize your scapula. We're going to do 2 more. Yep, you should feel your abs working when you're doing this, right? So notice, I don't know if you can see, but my head's not coming onto the mat here, right? If your head's coming onto the mat, you're losing your flexion at the bottom. We're going to do 1 more here. And all the way up, and we hold. We're going to go right into our abs series. All right, so we're going to roll down and go ahead and let your head come all the way down. So I'm going to take you through the preps. This is where people experience a lot of neck tension, okay? So we're in a tabletop position, so that means we should be in an imprinted position. So let's put the feet down, and we'll start from neutral. And then we'll contract the abdominals to imprint. It's a small movement here, so we're not jamming our back down, we're using our abs. So no matter how strong you are, going from neutral to imprint, you should feel your abs contract to create that movement, all right? Then we bring the left legs up to tabletop and the right leg. So you can work with your head down. The hands are gonna come on the outside of the knees here. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna extend the left leg. The right arm's gonna go down along the right shin right here. And the left hand's gonna come on the inside of the knee right here. So actually we do this hand position as a guide. I don't know if you could see this. So one hand on the outside, the other hand here, to make sure that your foot and your knee stay in proper alignment, okay? So we're gonna inhale, switch the legs, exhale and reach. Inhale, switch, exhale, reach. So this is the prep, right? So the more you bring your knees in towards you, the easier it's gonna be for you to maintain imprint, okay? Adding to that, we're gonna add the flexion of the spine. Okay, so this is without modifications here. Exhale to reach, inhale, switch, exhale, reach. So we're gonna do 4 more while we're maintaining the pelvis in a good stable position. Same with the spine. And 2, and 1. Both legs come up. Upper body comes down, and legs come down. The next in the ab series is obliques. Obliques, I'll go through the preps. We can work with the feet down. Hands can be behind the head. Inhale to prepare. Exhale, so we can take the left rib cage and think of bringing it towards the right hip. I'm keeping my scapula down on the right side. I'm lifting the scapula up on the other side. I have some nice space between the chin and the chest here, and then I come down, all right? My feet are down. I'm gonna do the other side. My pelvis is in neutral. I'm just flexing and rotating my thoracic spine here. I'm coming down in between, okay? So that's prep number 1. Number 2, I'm gonna imprint my spine. Legs can come to tabletop, and we can do the same thing. And we come down in between repetitions. We're gonna come down, okay? We're gonna add legs to that. So we come up, bend the knees, bring it in, lower the upper body. That's the next level, all right? We have a whole bunch. I'm just gonna show you one more after this one. All right, that's the next one. So we're gonna come up with the upper body. We're going to extend the left leg, rotate towards the right. We're gonna inhale, switch, exhale, reach. So I'm maintaining my flexion now throughout. Okay, so I'm keeping that ab prep position. My neck is nice and open. And we're gonna do 4. Inhale, exhale, 3. And 2. And 1. Both legs come here together and we roll all the way down. Hands are gonna come on the outsides of the knees. So the next exercise is called a double leg stretch. And it's here. So we're going to exhale, extend the legs and the arms. You're only gonna go as low as you can maintain your imprint, and you have no tension in your neck. So think of a high diagonal here. Arms are reaching, and then bend the knees, sweep the arms around back to the start. So it's exhale, inhale, come around. And we exhale, inhale, come around. We're gonna do one more like that. You can keep going with the head down, or you can flex up with the upper body like me. So we're gonna exhale, extend arms and legs. Notice I'm not losing my flexion here. We're staying up. Then we bring it around, and we're gonna do 4 and 3. We have 2 and 1 more. Hold, inhale, exhale, upper body comes down, and the legs come down. We're gonna stay right down by the side here. Arms right down by the side, I should say. Legs are hip distance apart. So I'm gonna lift my arms up so you can see if you're watching. I want you to make sure that you're seeing how I articulate my spine. So feet are flat down, shoulders are nice and relaxed. We're gonna inhale, hold here. Exhale, you're gonna rock back into your imprint, and then you're gonna roll your pelvis up, vertebrae by vertebrae. You're gonna find one long line from your shoulder to your hip. So see how I'm extending my arm out? This is to help me to know if I'm in proper alignment. You can work with your arms up or you can work with your arms down. It's really your choice here, but make sure your neck is staying nice and tension-free. We're gonna hold inhale. Exhale, softening through the chest and rib cage first, and then you're gonna roll and articulate through your lower spine, finding neutral. Okay, we're gonna inhale, hold here. Exhale, rock the pelvis back into that imprint, and we're rolling up. This is great for working the segmental control of your spine. Hold inhale, exhale, especially on the way down. All right, called working eccentrically. We're working all the muscles that create control. Exhale, we rock back, roll up. You might feel a nice stretch through your spine as we do this. Here you're finding neutral. Really want to make sure you're engaging those glutes here. Hold inhale, exhale, and we roll down. And one more like that. We hold inhale, exhale, rocking the pelvis back into that imprint. We roll up, energy out through the knees here. Hold inhale, and exhale, and roll over. All right, so we're gonna take the right knee, bring it in towards the chest, put the hands behind the knee. We're gonna roll up. We're gonna roll over onto our stomachs, otherwise known as the prone position, and we're gonna do a breaststroke. Okay, so breaststroke is part of our original essential series. So it is a challenging exercise, but it is one of the more beginning exercises. The hands are gonna come right down by the side. So in the beginning of the warm-up, we did a breaststroke prep. So we're gonna just do that first breaststroke prep again. So we're gonna inhale here, exhale. We're extending the thoracic spine here. My lowest rib is down. So this position is going to mimic the high position of the breaststroke. So my legs are extended hip distance apart. Right from here, I'm gonna reach my arms down by my side like so. So hopefully you're following along and doing that. So this is the high position of the breaststroke, okay? The next position, you're gonna hover about an inch above the mat. You're gonna bend your elbows here and then reach the arms. So I'm hovering just a few inches above the mat. This is an exhale. I'm gonna inhale, extend the spine, circle my arms out to the side. I'm going to reach and inhale here. Exhale, I'm gonna bend my elbows to the side, hover low, and dive forward. Inhale, I circle and come around. Exhale, and dive forward. So really important here that you're using your glutes to keep your pelvis down so that we're isolating this movement to the upper spine. Also important that you're stabilizing your shoulder blades. So we want to make sure they're not going way up by the ears and that you're also not squeezing them together either. We're just keeping them in a good stable position. We're going to do one more here. So exhale, we dive forward. Inhale, circle. Hold. And come all the way down. We're going to take this back for a shell stretch. Really nice job. So now counter movement back. We're opening the spaces on the vertebrae here. Some nice breathing. We're going to do an exercise called side kick. So laying on our side here. So I like to use my hand here for support on my head. Otherwise here, I'm not in really good alignment with my neck. So I'm on top of my shoulder here. Here I want to make sure that my abs aren't just resting on the mat. I'm lifting, so in between my rib cage and my pelvis, I have a little bit of a space here. I'm going to extend my legs straight out, and my legs are reaching towards the corner of the mat. If you were to be standing up and looking at me from this position, I'd have all the natural curves of my spine present, and my head and my neck would be in line with the center of my rib cage here. So I'm going to lift my top leg so it's in line with my hip joint. My hand can be either here or here. And I'm going to reach my foot forward. So I'm flexing my hips here. As I do that, I'm almost thinking of reaching my tailbone back. That's going to help me to stay in a neutral position. I do 2 pulses, and then I reach back one time. So here I'm making sure I'm not leaning my hip forward. I'm keeping it straight up and down. Again, I'm going to pulse 1, 2, and then exhale, go back. Hand in front can help for balance. Exhale, and we reach. So we're going to do 5 of these. 1, 2, exhale back. And last one. 1, 2, exhale, we reach and come back. Okay. I'm going to slide that bottom leg back so that it's in line with my top leg here. I'm going to bring my legs together. I'm going to do top leg abduction. Okay, so I'm going to inhale, just reach the top leg up. Exhale, I'm going to dorsiflex the top foot and then bring it down. And exhale, I'm going to inhale, I'm going to point and lift. And then exhale, I'm going to flex and lower. So I'm making sure here that as I'm pointing and I'm lifting and dorsiflexing and lowering, that I'm not moving through my spine. I'm isolating my movement at my hip joint here so that we can work the muscles that help to create a balance through our hip joint. When our hip joint muscles are balanced well, we have less of a tendency of injuring our knees and our ankle joint and our back. Okay, so really important, and we're always trying to create a good balance. And we're going to do 2 more like that. So inhale, point and lift. Exhale, we flex and lower. Last one, inhale, point and lift. Exhale, flex and lower. We're going to point and lift and hold here. We're going to do 5 circles in each direction. So we're going to go forward and down, back and around. And again, there's no movement from the hip to the rib cage. And there's 3. Inhale, exhale, 4. Doesn't have to be fast. Inhale, exhale, 5. And we hold here. So think of reaching that toe away from the hip. Okay, that's going to help you not to collapse into your spine here. Okay, so we're going to go back, down, and around. There's 1. Back, down, and around. There's 2. And we have 3 here. And there's 4. Almost done. We have 1 more. And we hold right here. Really reach that leg away. So you should feel the hips warming up a little bit at this point. Bend the knee, bring it in. And we're going to do the other side. So just flipping over to the other side. So this is a pretty basic level video. We're mobilizing the hips and the shoulders and the spine in all the proper directions, but we'll have a level 1, 2, and 3 video, hopefully, that you can access soon. This is going to be more of a level 1 video. So, and my first one that I've done. Anyhow, so you're angling your feet towards the corner of the mat in the bottom, the top, nice neutral position, so all my curves are present. So here, you want to make sure you're not resting down here on the mat. You want both sides of your waist even. Okay, we're going to lift that top leg up, relaxing your head. I like hand on the hip. I think that helps to keep neutral. We're going to kick forward. As you kick forward, you almost want to think of reaching back with your tailbone. So 2 pulses, and then inhale, we reach back. So exhale, pulse 2 times. And then we reach back. So the breath pattern is actually inhale to pulse up for 2. And then exhale to reach back. We're going to do 2 more like that. So we're doing 5. Of course, you could always do more of these on your own if you're feeling a little bit bored during these times. And we're holding that top leg out. You're going to reach the bottom leg so that you're in one long line here with your spine. Your neck is nice and open. Remember, you have that little space between your rib and your hip, your rib and your hip. Hand can be on the pelvis right here. So we're going to inhale, reach that top leg up, exhale, flex and lower. Inhale, point and lift, exhale, flex and lower. So think about using those glutes here to create that movement. This is called abduction. And so it's that side movement that happens at the pelvis. These muscles tend to be pretty weak because as we get older, we kind of stop to doing this motion, right? We walking, we're not really doing abduction up to the side unless you're walking sideways. That's not a bad idea. But, so these muscles tend to get a little bit weak with us. Even though you can be in great shape, like you can be a runner or a cyclist, that's still not really using these muscles all that much. We're gonna hold out to the side. We're gonna do some circles. So we're gonna go forward, down, back and around. Yep, forward, down, back and around. And we're gonna inhale, forward and down. Exhale, back and around. And we'll do 2 more. Inhaling. And exhaling. And last one. Inhale. And exhale. Really good. All right. So we're going to bend both knees. We're going to, we've already done the other side, so that's perfect. And we're going to come up and we're going to do a saw. So saw is a great exercise because it combines shoulder work, because we're going to be holding the arms up, and it combines mobilization of the spine. So we're going to be doing rotation, flexion, stacking back up to neutral. It's just a really great exercise. Also, while we're doing that, we're mobilizing the hips too. So it's a great overall way to kind of end our workout for today. So we're going to inhale. We're going to rotate towards the right side. My hand's going to sweep across so that my pinky finger is in line with that pinky toe right here. Okay, my bones are still stacked. I'm going to turn my back hand down, and I'm just going to flex my spine from head to tail right here. Notice I'm not collapsing down onto my legs here. My weight is even on both of my sit bones. I'm going to lengthen and stack my vertebrae back to neutral and hold my rotation. As I do that, I'm going to turn my back hand so my thumb faces the ceiling here. Then I'm going to exhale and unwind my spine to the start. Okay? So I'm going to inhale. I'm going to twist my upper spine. So my pinky finger is in line with it outside of my foot here. I'm going to turn my back hand down, and I'm going to flex my spine. I'm looking right at my knee here. I'm going to inhale, lengthen, and stack my spine, unwind my back hand, and then come back to the start. Okay, so we're going to go a little bit more dynamic. So inhale, we twist, turn the thumb down and flex. We're going to come up and open to center. So inhale, we twist, exhale to flex. Inhale, lengthen, stack back up, and exhale back to center. Inhale, twist, exhale, flex, holding rotation. Inhale, lengthen and stack. Exhale, open. One more time. Inhale, we twist. Exhale, we flex the spine. Inhale, lengthen and stack, and exhale back to center, and arms come down. All right, so there's your essential level Mat Pilates class. We started out with some 5 basic principles. I hope you can use this. If you can't get on to one of our Zoom classes, it's great always to get back to the basics anyway, but miss you guys. Can't wait to see you at the studio. Hopefully that's going to happen soon. All right, so I'm going to see about how I can turn this video off here. Shimmying my way over, and I think I did it.